Hey, g'day big bikers. Well, there's a heap of stuff that's been going on since the last video, and obviously that was very adventure-y with lots of, crashes and people coming off their bikes, and poor old Tony smashing up his little CB500X. Someone made a comment on the Facebook page that picture makes it look like the weight of the world on the shoulder of the poor little bike. Tony's okay, and the insurance company's written the bike off, and he's now looking around to get another bike. And I said, how does your wife feel about that, Tony? And he said very passionately. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, but anyway, I'm glad that he's okay. Okay, so I had to come back across the border. I was in Queensland. I had to come back across the border into New South Wales. Because I was out in the desert for a while, I did a bit of catching up on social media when I came back, and there was all this hoo-ha about these stupid people who are antagonising the police as they cross the border. And I thought, let's do that. So I made a little video. Been paying a bit of attention to what's been going on social media lately, and I'm seeing all these people making their border crossing videos. So I don't have a mask with me, but I am going to cross the border, and I'm going to make a border crossing video because it seems to be very topical, and everyone's doing it. I mean, I'm going to make a border crossing video. All these girls out there doing it, getting all this attention, going viral, talking back to the coppers and just being obnoxious. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm gonna really give it to these cops on the border. You watch. We're coming up to the border checkpoint in about 250 kilometres. We'll get there, and when we get there, I'll show them. You wait. Just you wait. All right, you ready? Here we go. We're coming up to the border soon. Only another 150 k's to go. But I'm ready. I found a mask. I'm right. I'm ready to go. We're going to cross the border. Okay. We're nearly there. Is that what you did? I'm not sure what that was about, but we're nearly there. You ready? Only 50 kilometres to go, and we'll be at the border crossing. You ready? I'm ready. Okay, I found a mask. I'm good. Ready to go across the border. We're nearly there. Only 30 kilometres to go, and we'll be crossing the border. I'm ready. All right, we're at the border. Starting to slow down now. Wow, look at that traffic. Look at the line up. It's going to take a while. Okay, slow right down. Traffic's piling up. Look at it. The army guys. What's the big deal? I mean, they were really friendly. There's army there just waving at me. Everyone's complaining. Here I am now, I've crossed the border. What's the big deal, everybody? Unbelievable. Yeah, so there is no border control from Queensland going into New South Wales, so let's just be clear. But look, I really feel for you Victorians, those of you that are stuck down there. It's level 4 now, level 4 restrictions, which means that you can't even go outside. Curfew for non-essential reasons, curfew at 8 p.m. And I suppose it had to happen because there's a segment of the community in Victoria that's just not behaving themselves or participating and causing problems for everyone else. So I think whilst everyone has to feel the pain down there, it's terrible. So I'm dedicating the next few rides I'm doing as I ride around outback New South Wales. I'm dedicating to you guys down in Victoria, and I hope you're coping okay. So enjoy the videos. So I came back across the border. and you remember a couple of videos ago when I went back up the border, I was looking for the Zero Obelisk. Well, I found it this time. In the 10 days or so that I went up into Queensland and then came back, I'd actually been making some inquiries, and just by chance I actually stumbled upon someone who knew the guy that owned the block of land, and I was able to get permission to go on. In fact, not him, but one of the guys that works with him, he actually took me to the obelisk, and there it was, just sitting in the middle of the paddock, right on the 29th parallel, just a little bit off, but it was just there it was, and covered in cow shit.
Well, there it is. This was laid in 1879, 15th September, I think. This is where he started. This pin right here is on the 29th parallel, and the New South Wales border is exactly on that line, and it goes all the way out to Cameron Corner and all the way back to Mungandai. So there we go, we found it. There's a bit of activity here. Had to get permission from a couple of the different landholders to be able to get down here. There we have it. The Zero Obelisk is out here in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of a cow paddock. So anyway, found it. I'm pretty happy with that. Job done. And I really don't understand why such an amazing historic marker isn't more recognised. So anyway, I found it. That was my mission, was to find that Zero Obelisk. I did that, and I'm pretty pleased with myself because there was quite a bit of detective work going on in the background. So yeah, I came down into Bourke. I've been doing a little bit of riding while I've been here, and I really have just been following the footsteps of Charles Sturt. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there aren't particularly interested in the history. I know a lot of you are, but you can't come to Bourke and not talk about the impact that Charles Sturt had on finding the Darling River, which is right here. The paddle boat just went by a moment ago. The Darling River is part of this amazing water network in Australia, part of the Murray-Darling Basin, and all of the rivers west of the Great Dividing Range actually end up in the Darling River, and they all then flow down to the New South Wales Victorian border, then the South Australian border, and then to the coast of South Australia at Murray Bridge in South Australia. So, the water here, whilst moving very slowly, will eventually end up in the Lake Alexandra, which is down at the bottom of South Australia. So when I get down to that part of the world, I'll take you and show you. It's nothing very exciting down there, but it's pretty interesting that all of the Oxley and Cunningham and all those early explorers that came out here, they all thought there was a major inland sea, and all these rivers west of the Great Dividing Range had to run into this Great Depression in the interior of Australia. They came out here, and when they came to the Darling River, although there appears to be plenty of water in it at the moment, when they came out here, there was none. And in fact, there was puddles of salty, briny water. And even when the cattle and the men that he had with him went to drink the water, they all vomited because of the briny salt water. So that's if you come to Bourke, and to be honest, over the last probably 5 years while I've been coming through here, I've stopped, I've refueled, I've either done an overnight here or I've just refueled and I've kept going, and I've either been going west out into the desert or east coming back from the desert. So it's nice to be able to stop at Bourke and actually just have a look at some of the things that are around here. The riding around here is pretty good. It's long, straight bits of remote road, but the surface is changing all the time, and you cannot have a nap, or you'll end up like Tony and upside down on the wrong part of the country. So you can't take it for granted out here. You've got to be really, really careful.
So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to bring you up to speed with where I am and what's going on. I'll probably be in Bourke for a few days. I've been contacted already by a couple of guys through Facebook. We're going to try and hook up. I'm not sure that we're going to, just the timing of things. But from here, I'm going to continue heading south. My plan is to go down to Cobar, across to Wilcannia, Broken Hill, and then now, because the road from Broken Hill through Packsaddle up to Tibooburra is completely sealed, I'll actually take the caravan all the way back up to Tibooburra, and from Tibooburra, again, I'm going to be tracing the steps of Charles Sturt, because that's the edge of the Stony Desert, and Charles Sturt set up quite a big camp out there. He got caught out there for about 14, 15 months out in the desert. He got trapped out there and had to survive in incredible conditions. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to explore all that area. Now again, if you've watched any of the videos, you'll know that I've been to Tibooburra before, but every time I've been there, I've been either passing through going west or passing through going east. So this time I'm going to spend a little bit of time having a look around some of the roads there, and there's some amazing tracks up there. But there's also places like Milparinka, which I'm going to have a look at. Very, very historic old places. So we'll get to those. We'll get to those when we get there. But that's it. I just want to bring you up to date with what's going on and where I'm at. I'm here at Bourke, only for a few more days. I'm going to do a bit of riding around the place and then keep moving on. So as I keep saying, so every time I have come out to these places in the past, I've always had to turn around and go home, and I don't have to do that now. And that's the beautiful thing about this trip that doesn't finish. So the never-ending trip, it's going to have to end at some stage, of course, but in the harsh reality of it, I'm going to have to go get a job again. But the aviation industry in Australia is going to be probably fairly quiet for at least 6 to 8 months, maybe longer. So I'll weather the storm and then see what happens the other side of that. Heaven forbid I have to get a job working in the city. That'd be terrible. It really would be terrible. I think I'm unemployable now. But anyway, that's all. Thanks for tuning in, and more rides to come for sure. Stay safe.